Hi, this is Jeff White with Life and Living Now and Versatile Fighting Arts. And I wanted to do a short little video on continuing our series of looking at comparing and contrasting the dantians with the chakra system. So before we had gone through the lower dantian and how it worked or compared and contrasted with root chakra and sacral chakra. And then we've looked at the middle dantian, which kind of goes from navel up through chest. And we discussed the comparison and contrasting and blending of the solar plexus. And now we're into the heart chakra. So when you start looking at the heart chakra, anahata, the middle dantian, then they all sit in the same region of the body. The middle dantian, as I just mentioned, kind of goes from chest to navel, we'll just say, to abdomen. Um, now, they do arise, the chakras and the dantians, as we have talked about with each segment of this, they arise from different energetic lineages. The Indian yogic philosophy has the chakra system, and the Chinese internal alchemy and Taoist thought have the dantians. They overlap in function, but they diverge in their metaphysics, and together they do create this powerful synergy when they are consciously blended. And that's what I focus on is consciously blending uh, the both the dantians and the chakras. One of the dantians is for containment, refinement, and the chakras are more about flow. So as we begin to look at some of these, I'm just kind of looking at my notes. For the heart chakra, also known as anahata, the location right in the center of the chest. The element associated with that is air from the yogic. The sound, if you wanted to use sounds, would be yam. In Qigong, then the heart is represented by red and the sound is har, Har. The core themes of looking at the heart chakra are going to be unconditional love. It's going to be compassion, forgiveness, emotional openness, unity consciousness begins there in the heart. So the purpose of the heart chakra is I guess, a gateway from the personal identity to a transpersonal awareness. Very important because the solar plexus deals a whole lot more with ego, and it kind of ties man between heaven and earth and their interactions. And solar plexus then kind of deals more with the ego. The heart is personal identity. It speaks to emotions and spirit and all this when we combine our heart mind. But it leads us now between that essence of personal identity to transpersonal, to being connected with everything. So it helps to dissolve those egoic boundaries and reveals this innate purity of the consciousness. The unstruck sound is what has been called. And I like that. Now, the middle dantian, in terms of Chinese medicine or Taoist thought, is also located in the center of the chest. And its elemental functions, meant it's more like chi with energy. There's breath, there's emotional energy, and it's more as a refining vessel. So the core themes of a middle dantian are going to be emotional harmony, relational balance, chi refinement, a bridge between the Qing essence and Shen spirit. Excuse me. So the middle dantian is more of a crucible where kind of emotional chi is purified and transformed into spiritual clarity. That happens with the idea of the middle dantian. So key philosophical differences. With the heart chakra, it's opening and it's opening upward towards transcendence. There is an upward movement or a refining. Refining is not the word that I want. But as we kind of go through the chakras, we start with the root chakra, which speaks to physicalness, things we can touch and see. And the more that it comes up the spine, then it becomes a little more refined, a little more rarefied. It becomes less physical and more spiritual as we work up our way. So that's why it opens to transcendence. It dissolves separation. Incredibly important. When you focus on heart chakra and you're open to it and you spend quality time meditating and focusing on that, it dissolves the separation between you and everything else. It awakens a sense of universal love, a sense of non separateness, is probably the best way I have to look at that. And it moves from the personal to the cosmic. Excuse me. So now we're kind of working with um, transpersonal energy as we begin to move into the heart. For the middle dantian, it refines towards integration. So one is transcendence and the other one is integration. It harmonizes the emotions. It stabilizes chi for spiritual development. So in short, the heart chakra is about awakening to love. The middle dantian is about refining emotional chi. Um, so a couple of things to kind of just really kind of look at. The heart at this point becomes a central pivot between the lower and the upper realms. Whereas, in the middle dantian is a bridge between body and spirit. So you kind of see where they begin to overlap quite a bit, but they still have different functions. You blend these, and your trajectory I think, is increased. Um, so when looking at heart chakra again, expressions of consciousness, the emotions, and when we're looking at heart chakras, considered to be expressions of consciousness. Healing comes through openness, vulnerability, compassion. Love is a natural state. For the middle dantian in Chinese thought, all emotions are forms of qi, or forms of energy. So healing comes through harmonizing, balance, regulation. Uh, so emotional clarity is the foundation then for spiritual refinement. For heart chakra, it feels fully, it opens deeply. Middle dantian balances and calms the heart and mind. So as you can see, one opens, dives deeply, feels deeply. The other one balances, and you still have the calm heart mind. Now, chakra practices can be loving kindness meditation, breath work that emphasizes expansion, back bends, and heart opening yogas work. There are devotional practices with bhakti yoga, shadow work that is always important to do around grief, resentment, attachment, things that keep you bound up and from being open and vulnerable. The energetic signatures, expansiveness, upwardness, and radiance. Now, I think it's also important that just because you focus on these, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do the work of um, you working with your mind and your emotions and your thoughts and renewing your mind and working with making sure that your thoughts are positive and appreciative, that you're seeing reality for what it is. The more that we do focus, it helps support that work and makes it easier. Um, Clarity, insights will come faster and more profound and more pronounced. The more that you focus on the dantian and the chakras as you utilize these meditations and this work, it doesn't do the work for you. You still have to do the work, but it helps support helps support that. Sorry for the cough today. The middle dantian, we're looking at heart lung qigong, harmonizing breath, inner smile meditation are also dantian practices, emotional regulation through breath and posture, microcosmic orbits in later stage also help with this as well. But the idea is that it's centering, it's refining, and it's stabilizing. So when you're focusing on heart chakra, what are the effects? Increased compassion, emotional openness. It helps you support. You have to make the decision that you're going to be this. You have to use your intention, but this helps support that. So increased compassion, emotional openness, a sense of unity with others and with nature and the universe. in itself, healing of relational wounds, greater empathy, feeling connected to everything. These are all effects from focusing on and meditating with heart chakra and using, walking with that energy. Middle dantian effects are going to be emotional stability, harmonized chi, as we had said, a clearer perception, balanced moods, stronger presence, and the ability to stay centered under stress. Vitally important. So the heart chakra softens and opens, middle dantian stabilizes, and that helps to clarify. So you kind of see where they begin to work together. So, they both sit in the chest center, they both work on emotional life, they both integrate lower and upper energies, which is important as we reach, the heart chakra in our studies. Both cultivate compassion and relational harmony, both support spiritual development, but there are two different languages that kind of describe the same terrain from different angles. Like I said, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes when you expect to see a particle, you see the particle. If you expect to see a wave, you see a wave. This kind of speaks to that. They do diverge, but they complement each other so very well. So, but focus. You look at it as the heart as a furnace and a flower. Um, so with the heart and the heart chakra, you view that as a flower opening. So it opens, it radiates, it connects, it softens. The middle dantian, though, it's a furnace. It refines, it harmonizes, centers, it clarifies. So in the furnace, it takes this energy and this chi, and it refines it and creates this place where now with the heart chakra, you can flow and you can be open, you can radiate. So they work together to provide the best benefit for you. So you can view it with heart and middle dantian is it's a flower that grows from a furnace. It's a nice way of putting that. So beginning, yeah, if you're looking at middle dantian, some practices are slow, deep, diaphragmatic breathing, putting your hands over the chest to focus. I like doing heart mudras in front of the chest. You want to feel that chi settling into the heart. You want to put your mind into your heart, release tension from the diaphragm. All this helps to create the proper vessel for the middle dantian. For heart chakras, then visualize a red light. Some schools say green. I've seen a red, white. The rose or the red light is for me what I resonate with the most. Expand the breath outward. Cultivate compassion. This is heart chakra. Use the mantra. Use your intention, and allow for emotional spacelessness. So imagine the heart, as this glowing sphere, and circulate the chi. So that's just kind of an idea. So hopefully this helps as you go through. um, and thank you much. So we will continue on with this, but I'm going to give a break with my cough. Thank you.